We're back to the action on table number 1. I want to do another pre-flop analysis. Okay, if this hand was 6 max, I think Queen, Queen, Deuce 3 in 95% of games, providing there's not like 2 crazy 3-betters behind you. I think Queen, Queen, Deuce 3 under the gun in a 6 max game is still at the bottom of my acceptable pre-flop opening raising range. I think in a 9-handed game, well, this is not 9-handed, it's actually only 7-handed. Okay, I think when I played the hand, I thought it was 8 or 9-handed. Let's analyze it like I was gonna, as if it is 8 or 9-handed. I think this is one of the very few spots where it is okay to open limp. There's a couple of players here with some fishy stats, so you kind of want to let them into the hand with, I don't know, 6, 6, 7. Jack single suited, and things like that, where you can overset someone and overflush someone. And a lot of the thing which is going to give you problems when you open raise a hand like this is that when you get cold called behind you, even if he's not 3-betting you, he's calling you, but he's calling from behind you. He has positional advantage. The pot is now like $85 if you full pot raise and you get one caller and the blinds fold. So you're dealing with a pot that's already rapidly growing and you don't have position, and so often you're going to have an overcard on the flop or a flush draw that's not your flush draw on the flop, and some permutation of straight draw that's not your wheel draw type of thing. So this hand, it's not going to flop that well, and you're not really doing yourself any harm if you don't go building the pot, but at the same time it's got a fair bit of nut and close to nut potential, so it feels wrong to fold it. I think ultimately if you are raising it under the gun and you do get 3-bet, you do have to reluctantly fold it, whereas if you take a line like limping it, you can profitably call a 3-bet still with a nice deep stack to pot ratio. So for that reason I decide it's appropriate to go ahead and limp it. This hand is particularly interesting because it's a bit of a conundrum for me what to do pre-flop in a game like this, or in a 6 max game as well. But post-flop, it's a really interesting scenario. I actually think what's going on here is a really, really intricate point that I want to teach you. Okay, given the option, I would have definitely led. Given the option in a raised pot, I really like leading, and I actually kind of like my hand in a raised pot because he's not going to have Jack Deuce or Jack 3 too often. So when you get flat called, it's almost certainly by a stubborn Jack XXX, and it's by a decent flush draw, both of which are fairly easy to play. But it's not a raised pot, so we are dealing with wider ranges. So Jack Deuce and Jack 3 are a lot more present in your range analysis of their hand than they would be in a raised pot. Okay, this is totally different when we get led into by the big blind. The most important concept that we convey here is that of dead money. You can end up calling here if you're trying to peel your Deuce 3 to see how he reacts on like the 8 of hearts, or the 8 of diamonds would be a really good card for you. But if you end up trying to do that with 3 players still to react, you're going to end up with dead money a lot of the time, and you're putting in $40 and you can't get to realize your equity. And obviously, what are we talking about? The equity here. The Queen of Clubs hurts you, so you've actually only got one nut out, and especially in the limped pot, when he's leading, or if he leads, you call and you get callers behind you. They decide that they want to play a dry Jack 3. They want to play it slow. Or I think most people are going to play Jack Deuce. They're going to play it slow. So you're not going to know how to proceed when you do make your full houses. So I think as good as 2-pair does look on this board, given they shouldn't have those hands, that's not applicable in a limped pot that's 5-way, and it's just too dangerous for you to go and flat call with all of these players still to act. So I like what I'm doing with that pre-flop. I'm giving myself to win a big pot, giving myself a chance to win a big pot without risking too much money. But when you get bet into, you've just got to give the hand up